Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm not outside Old Trafford or in the studio. I'm in my kitchen. We're on a late tonight. I'm going to be back later on tonight with Transfers Live. So I'm doing it from home this morning. And the weather in sunny Salford is actually sunny. It's very warm indeed. You will not need your parkas. You probably won't even need your hoodies. Loads of stories to get through, so we'll crack on. But before we do, make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. Now, we're going to get into some transfer stories. There's a couple of rumours and reports doing the rounds, which we'll get into. I want to quickly mention the Euros, of course. England, if you care, go through. Top Group C. Underwhelming performance against Slovenia, but Kobbie Mainoo played very well. Anyone who watches this channel knows that I'm a massive, well, we all are. We're all massive Kobbie Mainoo fans, as you'd expect. And he played his part yesterday, or last night, I should say, in a 0-0 draw. Now, when I say he played his part in a 0-0 draw against Slovenia, you think, well, that's not really anything to shout home about, is it? To be honest with you. But he was fantastic. I thought he played very well indeed. He came on at half-time for Conor Gallagher, played well, and for me, has forced the issue. He has to start in England's next game. It was ridiculous that he didn't start in the first two games, in my opinion, or the first three games, I should say. At least he got 45 minutes after Conor Gallagher, underwhelmed in that first half against Slovenia, showed what he's about, and did very well, and has to start England's next game. I think even someone like Gareth Southgate, who I'm not a big fan of, can't make that mistake of not starting Kobbie Mainoo. There's a couple of stories, actually, loads of stories. He's getting a lot of praise. I think everyone agrees that he's done well. There's a story here in the Mirror I quite like. It says, Paul Scholes makes it very clear what he thinks about Kobbie Mainoo playing for England. I think there was an Instagram post where he says, might surprise a few, very encouraged by that performance. At some point during that game, the right players were on the pitch at the same time. Think this team is ready to click night. It wasn't just Kobbie Mainoo who did well. Cole Palmer did well too. Anthony Gordon, a little cameo, did well. So England are through, and I think, unless Gareth Southgate's even worse than I imagined, that Kobbie Mainoo will start in the next game. Also through from Group C are Denmark. They've gone through as well. I think they drew. I think they drew all their games. Yeah, they drew again. They drew with Serbia last night. So they've gone through, as obviously Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen. Good to see them going through. The interesting one for me yesterday was the Austria game, because I think it was Adam Crafton who said it was like the looking at the game, it was like the post-Fergie United game or something. Or let me find the actual tweet, because I'm misquoting him and I'm getting wrong what he said, and that's not what he said. But yeah, because you had, oh, here it is, Ragnick masterminding, Sabitzer and Depay scoring, Weghorst assisting. It's the post-Fergie Man United roadshow. That was from Adam Crafton of the Athletic. Because yeah, Ralph Ragnick's done well at Austria. They beat the Netherlands. I think they've topped their group. I mean, you're looking at what he's done there. He's done a very good job. Do I think he was the right man for Manchester United? No, I enjoyed the fact that he called out the Glazers. I enjoyed the fact that he pointed out, he said United need open heart surgery. He was right. If you look at the amount of players we've signed since he left and what he said we needed to do, I think he said you need about 10 players, and he was pretty much accurate. But I don't think I'm going to do quite some of the revisionist history I've seen where saying we shouldn't have got rid of him. He should have stayed as a Manchester United manager. As a United manager, it didn't work out. I would have liked to have seen him gone upstairs and sort of works with Erik ten Hag. But if Erik ten Hag didn't want to do that, then you can't make a manager work with someone he doesn't want to work with. You have to make a decision there. He's gone to Austria. They've topped their group, in the Group D. A group of death as well, with France and the Netherlands, and even Poland aren't too shabby in there. But Austria have done really well. Marcel Sabitzer as well scoring. Shame for him it didn't work out at Manchester United. It was just injuries, wasn't it? Depay getting one for the Netherlands. I always think Depay underwhelms a little bit. I know his goal scoring record's good, but I always think when major tournaments he slightly underwhelms. Let me know what you think. And Weghorst getting in on the action as well. So, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, it was a sort of, it's all like a bit United centric, wasn't it? As Adam Crafton said, it's the post-Fergie Man United roadshow. Anyway, enough of the Euros. I'm sure we're not here for that. Let's talk about some transfers. There's a story doing the rounds this morning about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Did I say that right? I felt like I said Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's been linked with United in the past. And when I say in the past, I mean about 5 years ago. I think he had that really good season, didn't he, at Everton? He had a couple back-to-back good seasons in around 2019, 2020, 2021. around just before COVID and perhaps just after COVID as well, where he was banging in the goals, 13 goals in the Premier League one season, 16 goals in the Premier League next season. United were linked quite heavily with him. Then it all went a bit wrong for him, kept getting injured, played 17 games in 21-22 in the Premier League, 17 games again in 22-23. There was massive question marks about him. I remember seeing a press conference with Sean Dyche, I think it was, saying about they were looking at the way how he sits in his car, how he sleeps, what is causing these injuries. Is it something he's doing that's affecting him? Last season, he played 33 Premier League games, which is a lot. He had a bit of a barren spell, to say the least, because he started off relatively well. I think he had 3 goals in his first 7 or 8 games, I think it was. And then he went, I'm just trying to work it out. I think he went from early November to April without scoring. And during that time as well, he had 1 assist. Horrible spell. Let's not sugarcoat it. But then, towards the end of the season, he got going again. And it was 4 goals in his last, I think, 7 games. So his overall record last season was 33 appearances, 7 games, 39 appearances, 8 goals in all competitions. Not amazing, but it's not a complete disaster. He just had that horrible spell. Now, you might be sitting there or standing there thinking, Jay, what are you on about? It sounds like you're trying to convince us this would be a good move. Surely not. He's got injury problems. He hasn't really been banging in the goals. He seems to be a plan B if we can't get Joshua Zirkzee. So this is the story doing the rounds at the minute. I think the Eye have ran with it. I've seen it in a few other outlets as well. There's one in EPL Index. It says Man United credited, it says here, this is a new one, Man United credited with having an interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. According to the Eye paper, the publication states that while the move for the striker to Newcastle has died up, the Red Devils are showing his interest. I think this is looked at as a plan B, because it goes on to say we've been linked with Joshua Zirkzee too. So it looks like if we can't get Zirkzee, maybe we look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. My main problem with this is his injury record. I don't think he's a bad player, and I think if you're looking at someone who's going to be a backup to Rasmus Højlund, because that's what I think the striker will be. I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to play alongside him, might do now and again, but I don't think you're going to go 2 up top. I don't think you're going to drop Rasmus Højlund, and I don't think you can go out and get a 70, 80, 90 million pound striker to come in who's going to play second fiddle to Rasmus Højlund. We ain't got the money anyway. And if you're saying to him, come and play, come and sort of rotate or be the backup striker, you're not going to get the top level strikers are going to do that. So you're going to have to look at maybe an up and coming striker, maybe a striker whose numbers are okay, like Joshua Zirkzee's are. I think he's hit 11 goals in Serie A last season. Decent, not amazing, but okay. Or you look at maybe someone like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has had issues with injuries and stuff, but has sort of, come through them, but certainly has a much better injury record of late, can be a handful, can get you goals in the Premier League, is a good player, but is slightly flawed because of the reasons I've already mentioned. So let me know what you think. The big story yesterday, obviously, was Manuel Ugarte. Was still being linked with him. There's back and forth about where we're up to in terms of a bid. Lots of people reporting, Ben Jacobs, a few others, that United put a bid in that have been rejected by PSG. Me and Joe did a bit of a live on that yesterday where we spoke extensively about that. So go and check that out if you've not done so already. And we'll be back later on tonight with the transfers live as well, where we'll go through all the major transfer stories that are doing the rounds with Manchester United. Just before wrap up as well, there was this story on there about the women's team and what's happening with that, because there's been a lot of sort of controversy when it comes to the women's team, because it doesn't look like Ineos are too bothered about the women's team. And there's an article, I think, in The Guardian from Tom Garrett. It says Manchester United's women's team will be moved into portable buildings at the club's Carrington training complex this season to allow the men's squad to use the women's building while the men's building is being revamped. A lot of people are upset with what's gone on there. Connor Roberts, who runs the All for United podcast and the All for United women's channel, we've had him on the channel. Good guy. He said, afterthought again, state-of-the-art facilities built for the women's team and turfed out at the first opportunity. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there and what is happening with the women's team and whether Ineos do actually care. I mean, for me, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer. Invest what is a relatively small amount of money for Manchester United and get the women's team competing at the highest level. I think Mary Earps is about to leave as well. So, yeah, not great for the women's team. We'll have to wait and see what's happening with the men's team as well. We'll be back later on. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jay Motty in a pretty sunny Salford. Thanks for watching.